Hey there guys, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about bar chords and the easiest ways for you to execute them. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so I get asked about bar chords quite often. I've been asked about them a lot through my YouTube channel. None of my subscribers at Cutting Edge Guitar have really asked me about this, but this comes through here quite often, and it's a bit of a change of tack, a bit of a far cry from the usual things that I do here. But I thought, as I'm getting asked about it a lot, it would be quite interesting for me to talk to people about. So bar chords are the bane of a lot of sort of beginning but pushing on guitar players' lives. So when you're a complete beginner, the first chords that anyone really learns will be open chords, things like that. But then when you want to play particular songs, I can't think of any off the top of my head actually, but like, you know, just some riffs like this. You're going to want to be able to play bar chords, okay? So obviously this is something that you find on the internet. You can read up that you need to do bar chords, etc, etc. You see all of the chord diagrams, and then the problems are just most people, they cannot get a finger to lay dead flat over all of the strings. So the first thing really, the first chord that anyone really comes across that uses a bit of a bar is the dreaded F chord. When you're a complete beginner, that's the first chord that you'll ever see where one finger is laying flat over more than one string. That's the thing with bar chords really. What you're doing with bar chords is you're laying one finger flat over more than one string. So if you can't even play an F chord, you're going to really struggle to play things like... So until you can do that F chord, you probably shouldn't even try moving on to this. So one of the things that I do with a lot of my students is I get them to build a bar chord up a bit at a time. So first things first, just put that first finger on the guitar and just try and get the first finger playing the two strings flat. And obviously what I'm doing here as well is I'm alternate picking between the B string and the high E string, just making sure that everything's ringing. So once you've got that first finger laying dead flat, then you can build in the second finger. Now what causes a problem here where the second finger is concerned is not usually to do with the bar, it's to do with the fact that the second finger lays too flat across the other strings and will chop it off basically. So what you need to do is concentrate on keeping that first finger dead flat whilst keeping your second finger arched and away from the first finger. Then start picking the strings again individually. Trying to make sure that everything's ringing. Once you can do that, then of course build in the third finger. And now again, when you put your third finger on, don't put your third finger flat like this, but keep it all arched over. So the third and second finger even need to be arched over plenty so that the first finger can lay dead flat. And then go again through the strings individually. Making sure that everything rings. So then at that point you should be able to play your F chord fairly comfortably. Another sort of a way into the F chord, if you are really struggling with that bar, you can use an F major 7, and what that is third finger, third fret on the D string, second finger, second fret on the G string, first finger, first fret on the B string, and leave the high E string open. That's a bit of a workaround in the beginning, but what I'm doing to get that first finger to be ringing is leaving my first finger out of the way. So obviously when you're doing your bar, you need to bring everything down. Now things that a lot of players miss with this is the way that my wrist is moving. To play that F major 7, my wrist comes up, I've got to bring the wrist down to allow that bar, okay? And then also your thumb position is super important. So just make sure that your thumb is in the middle of the back of your guitar neck there. Okay, so that's my F chord. What about the bigger chords? Well, first things first, before you start putting everything on the guitar, just get that first finger. Now, what most people's problem with this is they'll get dead notes at that point. So try to get it so that your first finger is laying absolutely dead flat. But here's the thing that I see a lot of people do wrong. They're trying to finger that the bar so that this part of their finger is what's pressing the strings down. And that's not actually what you want to be pressing the strings down. If I play a bar chord, I want to press really hard into my strings. Now if I take my finger away and show that to the camera, you should hopefully see that it's slightly on the side of my finger is where the strings are making the indent. So just turn your hand out slightly so that the side of the finger, I don't mean like, you know, like this, but try and get it so that you're fretting a little bit more on the side of that finger. Again, before you've put all of the chord on, try to just get all of the strings ringing and just go through the strings individually. Now, the whole point of playing individually through the strings is to see where your dead notes are. Because I see this a lot with people. They play bar chords, and then what they'll do is they'll go, yeah, I've got dead notes somewhere. I don't know exactly which one it is until you go through and go, oh, that one's not very good. That one's okay. That one's okay. It's a bit buzzy. Dead as you like, dead as you like. It's quite often the top two strings which are dead as well. So fiddle around with your finger positioning, getting it on the side of the finger to try and make all of the strings ring. And then also the thumb positioning is super important. So if I play my A major bar chord, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand directly in front of my camera, and if you can see, there's my finger position or my thumb positioning for the A bar. If I go down to a G, up to a C, back down to an A. So again, if I remain standing for a moment, I stand right in front of my camera here. If I go back to how my first finger looks, it's not like this, but more turned out so it's on the side, and then try to pick through all of the strings individually until you get everything ringing out. Once you've got that, then you can put the rest of your fingers on. Now, something that you need to do that's really important with your bar chords is how you visualize them. Okay, so when you're doing this, visualize that your first finger has become like a capo, and then the rest of your fingers are forming the shape of an E major chord next door to them. Of course, if you want it to be a minor chord, you take the second finger off, so you've now got an E minor chord. You can also obviously play bar chords on your fifth string, so if I play this, that is basically a D major chord, and how I'm doing it is I'm barring the first finger at the 5th fret, and I've got my third finger doing the D, G and B strings like this. There are some players out there who like to finger this shape like this. Most modern guitar players don't do it like that, they'll do it like this these days. But again, how you're visualising that is that your first finger's like your capo, and then next door to it you're playing an A shape. Then of course if you want to play a minor chord, you put on an A minor chord shape. But as I say, the number one problem for most guitar players with this is getting that first finger to be clean. So try rolling it out so that you're playing on the side of that finger. And another thing that I've seen help a lot of players over the years that you perhaps wouldn't expect with this is to just make sure that you've got plenty of dexterity, perfect hand position, and sort of, well, as I say, dexterity, but power in the fingers. And one of the things to do that is just basic exercises on the guitar. So if you're just doing basic spider exercises like this, if you just do loads of those sorts of things and in the opposite direction, way that my hand is, I've got my dropped wrist, my elbows sort of out behind my guitar, my thumb positioning, if I drop that down there, you can see I'm in the middle of the back of the guitar neck, etc. Because I've got that real sort of good technical hand position, when I now want to play a bar, it's easy. So there we go, that's my thoughts on how you get going with your bar chords, guys. I hope that has been helpful. If you've enjoyed the video, please do smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop me a line in the comments, and if you want to support my work here on the channel and you want to get involved in asking me more questions that I'll come and answer for you, please do consider becoming a member over at Cutting Edge Guitar. All of the links that you need for all of my content are in the description below. Take care for now, guys. I'll see you in another video lesson sometime soon.